Hello everyone, I'm back with another Reddit Addicts episode. If you find my videos entertaining, please kindly subscribe and like them. Thanks to everyone for your suggestions and kind notes. Now, let's get started with today's exciting stories.
My boyfriend cheated on me twice via text. Latest one was last night. It wasn't physical, but it was via text. It's the second time it has happened, and I forgave him the first time. 2 different women. The latest one, which happened yesterday, was his ex before me. He told her he has crazy dreams about her and thinks about her all the time. Assuming wet dreams because he has randomly had some. We are very intimate, for the record, usually 2 to 3 times a week minimum. I know he had a very physical connection with this woman, best physical relationship of his entire life, quoted by him. Which is why he has a hard time forgetting about her, but was never in love with her. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I feel like the biggest idiot. Leaving him will really impact my life and lifestyle, in so many ways. We also work together. I am so unbelievably disgusted at how he's disrespected me, and I've shown him unconditional love, support and loyalty. I don't know how to let go of this anger. I called him every name and horrible thing in the book, everything you can imagine. Not proud of it, but I lost it. And I could not control myself. The anger was greater than me, and I don't know where to go from here. My entire world is going to change and has been flipped upside down. I have been sick for 24 hours now. Please tell me this gets better. He said his behaviors have made high sick and that he's sorry and he needs me, which is exactly what he said the first time, and that never stopped him from doing it again. Story 2. My first love cheated on me and I don't know what to do. I had been feeling a little off for a few weeks, but I couldn't quite put my finger on what was wrong. James had been acting a little distant, but I figured it was just stress from school or something. We had been together for almost 2 years, and things had been going really well. Or so I thought. But then, one day, I got a message from a girl I didn't know. She introduced herself as Emily and told me that she had been sleeping with James for the past few weeks. At first, I didn't believe her. I thought it was just some kind of sick joke. But then she sent me screenshots of their conversations, and I knew it was true. I was devastated. I couldn't believe that the person I loved could do something like that to me. I confronted James about it, and at first, he denied everything. He told me that Emily was just some crazy girl who was obsessed with him. But then I showed him the screenshots, and he couldn't deny it anymore. He broke down in tears and told me that he had made a mistake. He said that he was sorry and that he still loved me, but I couldn't just forgive him like that. I was hurt and angry, and I didn't know what to do. I felt like my entire world had been turned upside down. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't even focus on my schoolwork. All I could think about was James and what he had done to me. I started to spiral into a deep depression. I stopped going to class, I stopped seeing my friends, and I stopped taking care of myself. I just didn't see the point in anything anymore. I felt like I had lost everything that mattered to me. And then, one day, I decided that I couldn't just sit around feeling sorry for myself. I needed to do something to take my mind off of James and my heartbreak. So I decided to take a trip to Paris. I had always wanted to go there, and I figured that it would be a good distraction. I spent a week in Paris, exploring the city and trying to forget about my problems. And for a little while, it worked. I was able to forget about James and all of the pain he had caused me. But then, as my trip was coming to an end, I started to feel that familiar ache in my chest. I realized that I couldn't run away from my problems forever. I needed to face them head on. So when I got back to my university, I decided to talk to James again. I needed to know why he had cheated on me and if there was any chance that we could fix things. We talked for hours, and it was one of the hardest conversations of my life. James told me that he had been feeling stressed and overwhelmed with school, and that he had turned to Emily for comfort. He said that it was a mistake and that he regretted it more than anything. I didn't know what to do. Part of me wanted to forgive him and try to work things out. But another part of me was scared that he would hurt me again. In the end, I decided that I needed some time to think things over. I told James that we needed to take a break and that I would get in touch with him when I was ready. It's been a few months since that conversation, and I still don't know what to do. Part of me wants to forgive James and try to make things work. But another part of me is scared that he will hurt me again. I don't know if I can ever trust him again after what he did to me. But one thing is for sure, I will never forget the pain that he caused me. It changed me in ways that I never thought possible. And even though I don't know what the future holds. Comment 1. Dump and run, cut all ties immediately and move on. Cheating is the worst way you can hurt someone, and once a cheater, always a cheater. They don't fucking change, and if you let them, they will ruin you by making it out that you were the reason why. Here's my story on a similar issue op. It's long and I applaud you if you read it as it carries a lesson I hope you don't have to learn. Was deeply in love with my high school sweetheart and already made life-altering decisions. When I found out she was fucking half her church group for years, I was never involved in church as I do not practice any religion. Shame on me for not questioning the missed dates, lack of intimacy after church group outings, and her defensiveness about her phone. Background and full story. We met in high school, dated, fell in love, and I was the first she shared her body with. We had talks of getting engaged and continuing a life together. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. My background and upbringing was subpar to say the least, never got to be a child and really never felt loved even by my parents. I was a bit of a hoe as a horny teenager. I had already been with 10 different girls. It was a mix of lust and that I just wanted to feel desired and loved that drove me to seek out physical affection. But what actually felt like true love is what she gave me first. I turned down scholarships and career opportunities after high school to follow her to Florida State University so we can be together. Since the last year of our relationship we were long distance as she was a freshman at college and I was a senior in high school. The worst part is I broke it off initially the summer before moving to Tallahassee due to a sudden onset of her lack of intimacy, communication, and emotional transparency. Whenever I asked she or confronted the issue she became extremely hostile, blaming me and then wouldn't talk to me for days. No, it wasn't about lack of sex or arguments, it was that something changed and she felt so distant from me despite almost 3 years together. It was after she kept trying to string me along back into a relationship that I found everything out about her cheating. After being broken up for 3 months, I tried to be the good guy and help her out from time to time when she needed rides to school, groceries, etc. It was during one of these car rides where she left her phone by accident when she ran into a store and I saw everything. Messages with numerous guys, videos, pictures, and nudes that she sent and received with 4 different guys. She even had a video of her and a guy together doing the deed. I lost it and confronted her. She blamed me, she blamed the long distance, and made it clear it was my fault for everything. I just stayed silent and drove her home and left. The hurt I felt, the pain, the betrayal, it hurt me for years. I drank a 750 of any liquor I could get every night for the better part of a year hoping I wouldn't wake up. I cut all ties after what I began to realize was years of psychological and emotional abuse as I was nothing more than her property. That entire time. I enlisted in the army, which she chastised me for my choice when she heard from my parents about it. Yes, the bitch was behind my back talking to my family. 2 months later, I'm with another girl whom I had no intentions of intimacy or romance with as I just wanted space to process my life moving forward, and she was a friend all through high school. And for her as a friend, she was really just there for me as she knew I wasn't doing well upstairs in my head. Anyways, I'm with this girl and my parents as we go to a FSU football game and surprise, my ex is there with her sorority. Well, the ex went behind my back and messaged my parents to arrange a breakfast the following morning. The following morning I wake up to a phone call from my parents asking if I'm still coming to breakfast with my ex, and that they've been waiting for 30 minutes, so I cave, call my ex to see WTF is going on. Well, my ex is already at breakfast with my parents so I rush over to meet them. You can probably already guess how that breakfast went. I drive the ex back to her apartment and go upstairs to retrieve some things that I left there. I am then ambushed by her and her sorority roommate and accused of being a cheater, scumbag, etc. Much to the dismay of her roommate who didn't know the details when she verbally assaulted me. I remind my ex, who is now sobbing and asking me not to walk out of her life and that she will always love me. Do I need to remind you why we are done in the first place? I was faithful. I stayed committed while you paraded yourself as a religious Catholic zealot as you betrayed my trust for years sleeping with multiple guys in your church group. I'm over it. You will have zero contact with me, my family, and friends here on out. I'm over it and I'm tired of the emotional and psychological abuse you dish out so willingly. You don't own me, I'm not your material property anymore, and I hope you can never live with yourself for the hurt you've given me. The following years were dark, very dark, lots of drinking, partying, working out, and doing anything to myself to numb and hurt at the same time. I quickly progressed in my military career cause I didn't care. I pushed myself harder and harder out of some sick sadomasochistic mentality. I cut ties with family, with friends, and fellow soldiers. Suffered in silence, wasting my life away just trying to quiet the pain from the damage my ex inflicted. I became an asshole as well, extremely blunt with women at bars saying, "Are we gonna continue to play the game or just fuck and get it over with?" Went through what I call my second hoe phase. First one was high school. Now the lesson. No matter how deep the knife is in your back, no matter how painful it may be, there is an end to it. I met my wife 2 years after this failed relationship. She's 5 years older than and was in grad school at the time I was in undergrad. What I fell in love with was the stability and transparency she had with me. Up front, she was very clear with expectations for a relationship. We dated 3 years and got married after I commissioned as an officer in the Army. We've been married 7 years now. I am a recovered alcoholic that still has a beer time to time and under control. I'm a commissioned officer with a 6-figure salary, married to a wife with the same level of income in the medical field. It's been 12 years since I last spoke to my ex. Life goes on and it only gets better. You need to take care of yourself and your needs. Walk away from the cheating ex and don't look back. Don't let them drag you down. You're young and have a whole life ahead of you. And one last thing for you. You can forgive, but never forget life is full of lessons and you now have experience moving forward that will allow you to find the right person.
We hope you enjoyed this story. Thanks for watching and hope to see you in the next video. And before you go, please be sure to subscribe for more.